Hello everyone, this is the History Spectrum channel. In this video, we will discuss Friedrich II, who was active in the 18th century. Please watch to the end, as you will hear some surprising stories about his seemingly smooth sailing. Friedrich the Great's innovative military strategy. Friedrich the Great used innovative tactics on the battlefield, and won many victories. He diversified his tactics by incorporating unpredictable movements and rapid actions against the enemy. For example, he used oblique tactics to deceive the enemy and lead the outnumbered Prussian army to victory in many battles. These innovative tactics demonstrated Friedrich the Great's military prowess and enhanced his reputation. Friedrich the Great was especially known for his strategic decisions. During the 7 Years' War, he responded to constantly changing warfare conditions and confronted multinational allied forces with limited resources and troops. At the Battle of Leuthen, his quick decisions and surprise attacks led the Prussian army to victory. These battles epitomized the strategic acumen and courage of Friedrich the Great. Friedrich the Great's military strategy had a profound impact on the balance of power in Europe. His victories brought Prussia into the ranks of the great powers and set new trends in European geopolitics. In particular, the rise of Prussia posed new diplomatic and military challenges to existing powers, such as Austria, France, and Russia. As a result, Friedrich the Great is remembered not just as a king, but as an important change agent in European history. Prussia's road to modernity. Friedrich the Great reformed the administration and laws, creating a more efficient and modern state. He aimed for fair and rational governance and strengthened the rule of law to ensure order and growth of the state. The judicial system was reformed to ensure faster and fairer trials, and social reforms, such as the relaxation of the serfdom system, were also implemented. These reforms transformed Prussia into a more modern state and made history with the name of Friedrich the Great. Friedrich the Great revolutionized the educational system and cultural policies, promoting the spread of knowledge and culture. He placed great importance on enlightening the people, and by encouraging learning and the arts, he sought to improve the strength of the nation. Specifically, he improved the school system, established libraries, and provided support for artists and scholars, thereby raising Prussia's cultural status. These policies made Prussia a center of the Enlightenment, and are remembered for their profound impact on later generations. Friedrich the Great's commitment to economic development and social progress built the country's prosperity. He focused on reforming agriculture, industry, and trade to raise the standard of living of his people and the wealth of the nation. For example, he focused on improving the land, introducing new technologies, and expanding trade routes, which led to significant growth in Prussia's economy. These economic and social reforms helped Prussia grow into a European power, and Friedrich the Great's reign is regarded as a success. The Enlightenment and Friedrich the Great. Friedrich the Great interacted with many Enlightenment thinkers and actively adopted their ideas. He believed that Enlightenment thought was essential for social progress and sought to reflect their ideas in his policies. In particular, his friendship with Voltaire is well known, and their exchange of letters had a great influence on the formation of Friedrich's thought. This close relationship with Enlightenment thinkers positioned Friedrich the Great as a representative of the Enlightenment despot. Friedrich the Great reflected Enlightenment thought in his philosophy and policies and implemented many reforms. Emphasizing reason and progress, he formulated policies aimed at rationalizing society and improving the welfare of the people. For example, his policies of religious tolerance and improvements in the educational system reflect his ideals based on Enlightenment thought. These philosophies and policies laid the foundation for modernizing Prussia and strengthening the country through the reign of Friedrich the Great. Friedrich the Great was known for his aggressive reforms, especially when compared to other Enlightenment monarchs. He undertook more far-reaching reforms than other monarchs and implemented policies that reflected Prussia's unique political and social context. In contrast, other monarchs, such as Maria Theresa of Austria and Ekaterina the Great of Russia, show clear differences in the scope and methods of their reforms. Friedrich the Great's policies were unique to him and are regarded as distinctively progressive. Even among the tyrannies of the Enlightenment. Domestic and foreign policy. Friedrich the Great faced many domestic political challenges and came up with his own solutions, aiming to stabilize his rule and strengthen the country's power. He set in place domestic policies through a variety of reforms. His policies, such as agrarian reform and the centralization of government, increased domestic productivity and strengthened social order. Through these efforts, Friedrich the Great effectively addressed domestic challenges and led Prussia to become a strong state. Friedrich the Great enhanced Prussia's international standing through skillful diplomacy with the great powers of Europe. He promoted a balanced policy in the diplomatic arena and expanded Prussia's influence through alliances and wars. In the 7 Years' War, he shifted the balance of the war in Prussia's favor through shifting alliances with adversaries, thus preserving Prussia's power. Such a diplomatic strategy went a long way toward firmly positioning Prussia as one of the great powers of Europe. Friedrich the Great's rule had an impact long after his death, leaving a legacy for future generations in many ways. His reforms, foreign policy, and military strategy left a significant mark on later European history. His contributions to culture, especially his support for music and the arts, remain part of Prussia's cultural heritage to this day. Friedrich the Great's policies and legacy have had a profound impact on European politics, culture, and society, placing him as an important historical figure. Personal and hobbies. Friedrich the Great had a deep love of music, literature, and philosophy, a passion that was evident throughout his life. Through his personal tastes, he deepened his knowledge and culture, and fostered an enlightened spirit. In particular, he was passionate about playing the flute, composed his own music, and developed an interest in literature and philosophy. Through his correspondence with Voltaire, this passion for the arts shaped Friedrich the Great's multifaceted personality and influenced his ruling style. Friedrich the Great's daily life was disciplined, and his personality was strong-willed and intelligent. He was a self-disciplined man in his daily life, and had a strong sense of responsibility for his duties as king. He led a stoic life, working from early in the morning until late at night, and devoting what little rest he had to study and practice music. These attitudes toward life reflect Friedrich the Great's efficient and practical style of ruling and are emblematic of his personality. His legacy and modern influence. Friedrich the Great was instrumental in strengthening and expanding Prussia and, as a result, laid the foundation for the later unification of Germany. His military and political reforms transformed Prussia into a powerful nation, and established its leadership among the German states. The territorial expansion and military buildup of his time played an important role in the later movement for German unification. Friedrich the Great's actions are credited with putting Prussia on the path to German unification. Friedrich the Great's policies and actions had a long-lasting impact throughout Europe and even the world. His enlightened style of governance, military strategy, and international policy contributed to the balance of power in Europe and the development of the modern state system. In particular, his military strategy influenced the later militarism of the Napoleonic Wars and World War I, and his foreign policy influenced the basic principles of international relations. The legacy of Friedrich the Great has left a profound mark on European history and the world political map. Even today, Friedrich the Great is highly respected and remembered for his military genius, political acumen, and contributions to culture. His multifaceted legacy continues to be studied and appreciated in fields as diverse as military science, political theory, and history education. His strategies taught in school history courses and his cultural legacy, honored in museums and monuments, carry his fame into the present day. Friedrich the Great is still remembered by many today as a military genius, an enlightened ruler, and a cultural patron. The surprising story of Friedrich the Great. Friedrich the Great loved the arts and was especially passionate about music. He learned to play the flute and even gave concerts himself. However, his father did not understand the arts and forbade Friedrich from enjoying music. It is said that when his father heard Friedrich playing the flute, he became so angry that he struck him with his cane. It seemed that every aspect of his life was perfect, but surprisingly, it was not. How was it? In this video, I explained about King Friedrich II of Prussia. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and like this video. History Spectrum.